take a look at the author's short background of the author. Joseph Waiguru is the author of the Round Nagha. Joseph Waiguru is a Makerere graduate, and he wrote an ode to the Round Nagha. And also in the poem, he says that the Mad Hat is shared as a shared refuge for humans and their animals, for adults and their children. And also, he says that the Round Mad Hat is under siege because of the forces modernized accommodation, separating parents from children in the different rooms, humans from their animals in stables, and segregating the inhabitants of the other earth. So let's now proceed to the poem. Let me read the first stanza. The round barn, proud to the last, of her noble sons and daughters stands to see. So the first stanza stands for the African tradition itself. So the round barn hat implies the African tradition and the culture. So let's focus on the last line. Stands besieged. It means that the African tradition is now facing a change created by acculturation. So, as we move on discussing the poem, we will know what happens in Africa. So next stanza is oblate stones interpreted agreement, gardening a fire, and then a path large, hot path which nurtured black children. So second stanza stands for the Africa or the country itself. So the Africa, we can see here that hot path which nurtured black children. So we can see that in this stanza, Joseph Waiguru use these words or use this line to represent the African people. So, yeah, next is the third stanza. Near the door stands a thin-legged pot, guard to the entrance, so hiding cold water cold. So, the third stanza this third stanza shows the colonizers from the near the door stands a thin-legged pot, guard to the entrance, hiding cold water. So, Western people from, or the colonizers from the West. And fourth stanza, three thick guards firm on the floor near the wall, having done something sour sweet, which 3 days past was tasteless. So, in the fourth stanza, so the things in here, the things or something in here are the things brought by the colonizers. So things that are something relative or relevant to the colonizers' culture. So fifth stanza. That is the matchmake, the work of a skilled hand, abundant with food, yes, 10 round slabs, it's generous to all. So the fifth stanza shows the Africa itself, the Africa, the country, and the wealth of the continent. It means that in this stanza we can see that Africa is a wealthy nation or a wealthy continent that has, if we know that, if we can see, Africa is very wealthy in every aspect that the colonizers were attracted to the Africa. And sixth stanza, there's a chef, masterpiece of carpenter, specialized in wood and shape on it, rest, calabashes, large and small. So in the sixth stanza, it shows that colonizers who brought new teachings, the chef, it shows that colonizers who brought new teachings and ideologies to the Africa itself, the African people. So next stanza, seventh stanza. three-legged, two four-legged, warm, smooth through use. So this stanza shows the stratification in the Africa when the Western colonizers came to Africa. So next stanza is after stanza number 8, after a high shelf, higher than man standing covered with soot, a story strange it tells, fires of bird and bird. So in the stanza, the shelf in here shows the tradition of the Africa. So a high shelf, the African tradition, and then a story strange it tells, fires of bird and bird. So the story in here, it represents the Western style education that colonizers of the European tried used in like penetrating Africa at that time. Also, not only the Western style education but also the Western Christianity they brought to Africa. The story is strange it tells, because the Western Christianity is different from the religion or religion that Africa knows that time. So it also represents the story strange it tells. It also represents the technology, especially those aspects were of relevance to economic change and material production. So during that time, Africa was penetrated by the European in three aspects, in three main reasons. One reason is the political, economic, and social aspect. So let's now proceed. Also, in the last line, fires of bird and bird have bird. So it shows the dying tradition of the African tradition. Although the high shelf it is still displayed, but it gradually died as time goes by because of the colonization that happened during that time. So next stanza. And there's a bed, no more than one. Many goats have died to make the bed spread. So in here, the goats, let's look at the goat word here, use goats. So it represents it represents the African people. So we can see that many goats have died to make the bed spread. So because it was the goal of the colonizers, so many goats have died. So meaning many Africans are dying maybe because during that time slave trade is very evident and is a big issue during that time. African slave trades. And then stanza, the bleeding sheep in the horn goat, calves shooting at the end well, share the warmth of the round mad. So the free African people before was now well. So the bleeding sheep, the horn goat, calves shooting stands for the African people. They were free before. They were free to enjoy their land, to enjoy the wealth their country has. But because of the colonizers, they were now prisoned. They were now suffering slavery. They were now suffering poverty and many social issues in their country. So in the last stanza, all this and much more slowly and slowly disappears. Slowly and slowly iron disappears. Lays a siege on the roof and takes prisoner of the world. The plate, the cup, the lamp. What's this but a change to the new of the house? The round mad hat is no more. So in this stanza, the last stanza shows that because of the colonization that happened, the tradition of the Africa the round mud hut is no more, and the new oblong house is now like being built during that time. So the new oblong house, that is not just the new oblong house, but the new oblong house represents the culture that they. Let's proceed to the next stanza. All these and much more, slowly and slowly disappears. Slowly and slowly iron disappears. Lays the fish on the moon and takes prisoner of the Lord. The plate, the cup, the lamp. What's this but a change? The new oblong house, the round mud hut is no more. So in the 11th stanza, we can see that the 11th stanza is the conclusion of the whole poem. So in this stanza, it tells us that the African tradition and culture is slowly fading and gradually dying as time goes by because of the colonization and the westernization that came in Africa. So that's all for the home around Mata. So let's proceed with the theme. So the theme of the poem is everything, especially the culture and tradition is subject to change. As we know that culture is dynamic and it changes through time. So then for the symbolism, so let's for the symbolism, round mud hut, the title itself or the round mud hut symbolizes the Africa itself or the country itself, the tradition and the culture. And also the new oblong house symbolizes the Western culture and tradition or the culture of the colonizers that penetrate the Africa at that time. And also as we can see that through also this poem that we can see that the focus or the main theme of the literary works during that time was mostly about what's happening in their environment at that time. So most of the writers, African literary writers, wrote about what's happening in their country as a whole, and even in details in their country. That's all.
lighted, and that keeps growing the holy fire of patriotism. So now, let's start with the symbolisms of the poem. First, the first stanza, proud warriors. So, the persona is telling that the proud warriors in the poem is the native Africans who battled or struggled against the colonialization of the Dutch or the British Cape Colony. Next is the ancestral savannas. First, savanna is a land, grassy land without trees. So if you can see, this savanna is like polluted, or it has no trees around. Then ancestral savannas, from the word ancestral, for me it means that Africa or the ancestral savannas that resembles Africa is owned by native Africans and not by the colony or British colony or other or the West. Next is face full of blood, pure blood. So persona is saying that his identity is African. It doesn't mean that he grew from other countries. It doesn't mean that he is not an African. So he's telling in the book that African blood is run through his veins. Next is blood, sweat, birth, and slavery. Yeah. And that word resembles the injustices and discriminations experienced by the Africans in the colonial period, wherein the British Cape Colony colonized them and forced them to work and to move away from their families to work in the mining for them. So in that time, British colony is regarding Africa as theirs, and Africans or native Africans as the foreigners in their own land. Next is wet on the road of here. Yes, the hundreds of food. So this means a forced labor experience in the Africans. As I had said earlier, Africans were forced to work and to move away from their families for the British colony. Then, after that, the 3-year robust, yeah. So, for me, 3 means resembles Africa, robust means strong, and young. So, for me, young is the Africa is big, young, or still blooming, and tastes like the liberty or the freedom that it deserves. And robust, strong. Strong from where? From which? Strong from the discriminations, the insults that they have encountered brought to them by the West or the colony. Then next is the food. Fruit little by little there. So fruit for me is the citizen of Africa and the next generation. So for me, this poem is dedicated to the next generation and as well as the Africans or the citizens of Africa. And lastly, bitter taste of liberty. Why? Because freedom, they got the freedom that they deserve from where? From hardship, from difficulties, from discriminations, insults, injustices from the colony. So this book surrounds or colony or that colonial period surrounds this book. Next is the interpretation. My interpretation. Thematically, there are 3 parts in this. I have interpreted it in 3 ways. First one, in the first stanza, the persona is telling about the pre-colonial period wherein Africa is rich, Africa is fertile. Second is where Africa is already colonized by the British Cape Colony, and even the Africans with a K, African, A-F-R-I-K-A-N. These Africans are like, when we compare them to the Philippines, it's like they are the Insulares. The Insulars, they are Dutch, but they were born in the Africa. Then, and the third, the person is telling the future preference of his preference towards Africa, or what does he expected in Africa. Then, a little background with Africa is beset with grave problems, many of them seemingly insurmountable. The problems that we face are injustices, colonizations, diseases, poverty, illiteracy, corruption, child mortality, maternal death, religious intolerance, lack of political freedoms, and limited economic opportunities. It is based from Father Orobator at Africa. Then, some of these are another problems are grammar and language barriers, because as we can see, Africa is rich in different languages or dialects. And political oppression, lack of developed communication are among these problems. So, David's poem has something to do with Africa's struggle for liberty and its history. Again, it is colonized by the British King. So, Africa, my Africa, Africa of proud warriors and ancestral savannas, Africa that my grandmother sings on the bank of her distant river. I have never known you, but my face is full of your blood, your beautiful black blood which waters the white fields. So, this stanza means that in the pre-colonial period, Africa is very rich. It is fertile. Because when you say fertile, it has something to do with black soil. So I resemble this black blood and black soil. So which means fertile, it can grow, it can multiply. So based on my interpretation, in this stanza, Africa is very rich, very promising. It's a promising land. The humanity came from the pre-colonial or Africa in this stanza. Next one is the colonialized period, wherein again British came colonized them. The blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, the work of your slavery, the slavery of your children. Africa, tell me Africa, is this really you? This back which is bent and breaks under the load of insult. This back trembling with red wheels or red scars, which says yes to the whip of the hand rows of moon. So, as we all can see, this back which is bent, which means it symbolizes difficulty, or it symbolizes diseases or difficulty that has been experienced by the Africans, and breaks under the load of insult. So when you imagine or envisage a load of insult at the back of Africa, so from there you can see that there are discriminations and injustices that are being given by the other countries, to the other people, to Africans. Next, this back trembling with red wheels. Red wheels from the whip on the hand poles of moon. So, as I had said earlier, there are forced labor experienced by the Africans that time. So, and the last one, the future preference of the persona. Thus, briefly a voice replies to me, Impetuosa, the tree, robust and young, the tree over there, splendidly alone amidst white and faded flowers, that is Africa. Your Africa, which grows patiently, obstinately, and whose fruit, little by little learn the bitter taste of liberty. So, for me, the brave voice being said in this poem resembles or symbolizes Africa, or even citizen or the land, which it says it contradicts the initial or the latter idea of the person that Africa is not a rich again. Then, it's 3 robust and young. So, robust and young, strong and young. Splendidly alone amidst white and faded flowers. So, splendidly alone amidst, in the middle of white and faded flowers. I think it means Africa is unique, is rare, and it has its own cultural identity, its identity, for it to rise again and for it to be rich again. That is your Africa which grows patiently and naturally. So, in this particular part, Africa is still in the process of rising from where? From the discriminations they have encountered. Then, and those little by little learn to be their disability. So, in this part, the citizen or the Africans, little by little is learning or is tasting the freedom that they deserve. The bitter taste of liberty or the bitter taste of freedom. From where? From discrimination. Again, from the colonization they experience. So again, this poem talks about his native land, wherein David Dion, despite that he's not born in Africa, still wrote about Africa by giving message of hope. He's giving message of hope for the Africans or the African horizon.
Good morning. I will be discussing to you the poem of Dirago Dayok, which is the brief. So, Dirago Ismail Dayok was a Senegalese poet and storyteller whose work restored the general interest in African folktales and promoted him into one of most outstanding African francophone writers. He also renowned veterinarian, diplomat, and leading voice of the Negritude literary movement. Dayok exemplified the African Renaissance man. So, let me read to you the poem of Dirago Dayok, which is the brief. Listen more often things rather than beings. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. It is our forefathers' breathing. The dead are not gone forever. They are in the paling shadows, in the darkening shadows. The dead are not beneath the ground. They are in the rusting tree, in the murmuring woods, in the flowing water, in the still water, in the lonely place, in the crowd. Dead are not dead. Listen more often things rather than beings. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. It is the breathing of our forefathers, who are not gone, not beneath the ground, not dead. The dead are not gone forever. They are in the woman's breast, a child's crying, a glowing ember. The dead are not beneath the earth. They are in the flickering fire, in the weeping plant, the grounding rock, the wooden place, the home. The dead are not dead. Listen more often things rather than beings. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. It is the breathing of our forefathers. So, I will be discussing to you first the first stanza. Listen more often things rather than beings means we need to listen and open our eyes to the happenings, to the people there in the country, and hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. They are crying, they are shouting for freedom. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. Here, listen to the people who were crying and asking for their needs and pleasing to give the freedom they want. It is our forefathers breathing. The dead are not gone forever. They are trailing shadows and in the darkening shadows. The dead are not dead. The dead are not gone forever, which is the Um, they are dead physically, but their memories will still remain. We're still there. We're still there forever. They are in the paling shadows and in the darkening shadows, meaning, like I said in the first line of second stanza, that they are just died physically, but the memories will still remain forever. Um, they are just remind us that we need to do something to provoke this kind of poverty, to provoke this kind of slavery, to get and commit the freedom we wanted. The dead are not beneath the ground. Even now, even they are now dead, they serve us as the open eyes. They wake up us. Also, we need to fight because every people has the rights to do and of course people we people that we also commit freedom. We want to do whatever we want in the country because this is our country. So they are in the rustling tree, in the murmuring wood, in the flowing water, in the still water, in the lowly place, in the ground. The dead are not dead. So here, even a lot of people died because of slavery. Their purpose was continuous to feel us that we need to fight for freedom, because when people dying because of slavery, because of poverty, it has something that pinching in the deepest part of our hearts. So, died people has a purpose why they came in that point, because that purpose serve us as a wake up call, as an alarm clock to fight and do not lose hope to get the freedom we want. So listen more often things rather than beings. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. Is the breathing of our forefathers, who are not gone, not beneath the ground, not dead. So it is the same in the first stanza, which is we need to open our eyes to see what's happening in the country and hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. They are shouting for freedom, they are crying for freedom they want. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. They're pleasing everyone to give the freedom we want. Who are not gone, not beneath the ground, not dead. So here, they are not gone. Yes, people, time passing by, but memories, love, and purpose was still there, was still remain in our hearts and in our mind. Like the people who died, they are not gone, they are not dead, because they want justice, they wanted to get the freedom that they didn't get when they still alive. So these died people wanted that the other people fight for their freedom, because since the first day that God created the world, He declared the world as a free country, as a free world. I mean, the dead are not gone forever. They are in the woman's breast, a child's crying, a glowing ember. The dead are not beneath the earth. They are in the flaking fire, in the weeping plant, the drowning rock, the wooden place, the home. The dead are not dead. In this fourth stanza, the dead are not gone forever. They are in the woman's breast, a child's crying, a glowing ember. It says here that the first-born baby should have freedom, but because of their nature, they felt so much. They felt so much poverty. They felt that they are slaves in their own country. At the early age, they are they are thirsty for their own freedom, and the dead are not beneath the earth. They are in the flaking fire, in the weeping plant, in the drowning rock, the wooden place, the home. The dead are not dead. So here we can blame the earth why our nature is like this, why people in Africa suffering that kind of poverty and oftentimes the being slaves. The people there are famine and there is no water. For example, in Africa it has this kind of place they call the deserted place because some people who live there is no jobs, no food, they are famine, no water. So, but dead are not dead. But because of that, they fight. They need to fight it. People doing their job to get out of this kind of poverty, this kind of slavery, of this place, the surroundings, and the feeling of being unfree. And of course, here it says the nature that we can blame the nature why we are in this kind of situation, why people in Africa are suffering for poverty, are suffering for slavery, and it talks about nature. It's all about the freedom that the firstborn babies need to get the freedom they want. Listen more often things rather than beings. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. In the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. It is the forefathers' greeting. Like I said in the first stanza and in the third stanza, we need to open our eyes, we need to open our ears, we need to open our minds to see what is really happening, not only in Africa, but to see what is really happening in the whole world. Hear the fire's voice, hear the voice of water. Not only the Africans can shout they want. We can also shout that we need also freedom, we need food, we need love, we need everything in this world. That's in the wind, hear the sobbing of the trees. So like I said here, for example, this wind it represents government, and the trees represents us. So we are crying, we are asking, we're pleasing them to give the things we need in this world, in our school, in everything, in everyday lives. And it is the forefathers' reading. So, and also in the whole poem, it talks freedom, it talks fight, it talks about the slaves, about the poverty in the Africa. That's all. So, and of course the theme unity of all things living and dead with nature. Meaning, how I understand this is that we want to commit the things we wanted, most especially the freedom. We need hope. We need to help each other, even the dead people, because they are the one who felt us that we live in this kind of nature that is no equality. We live in one earth or place, and God made us equal. There is no low, there is no high. We all free to do whatever we want, because freedom was declared in the first day. And of course, God declared the freedom in our being a firstborn baby in this world. So the symbolism, Virago Diop uses the nature, which is the fire, water, wind, trees, what else? And of course, here, she uses that to express that we are living in this kind of nature, and we need to fight for it. We need to erase all the negatives, not only in that country, not only in the Africa, but also in the whole world. That everyone, we know that everyone is suffering for poverty. I mean, suffering for being not equal to this world. So he uses that because she wanted to feel us that we can't blame the nature why we are here in this place, why we're standing in poverty, why we are standing in being slaves. So Virago Diop wrote this to open our minds, to open our eyes, to open our hearts to the happenings of this world. So thank you for listening, and that is all. Good morning, and God bless.
Okay, good morning. So this is another African piece of African literature. So my report is entitled The Voter. So let us first know more about the author. So the author of The Voter is Chinua Achebe. His real name is Alberto Chinua Lumogu Achebe, a Nigerian novelist, poet, short story writer, professor at Brown University, and critic. Has been considered to be the most influential African writer in his generation. He is best known for his unique portraits of the widespread social, political, and cultural effects that Western values have had on traditional African society. In his works, the readers find realistic description of Nigerian life. So let us know more about the characters of the selection. So first is Rufus Okenge, or Ruf for short. He is a young man who enjoyed immense popularity because of his sincerity in their village. Next is Marcus Ibe, a candidate running under the People's Alliance Party, or PAP. And next is Madupa, he is an opposition candidate, and he is running under the Progressive Organization Party, or POP. Okay, and then the setting of the story is in the village of Yumufia. Okay, now let us proceed to the story. So the story opens up, or begins, by describing who is Ruth. So Ruth is a young man who immense popularity in his village. He gave up his free will to serve his people. So Ruth here is in the villagers' point of view. They describe Ruth as a loyal man because he did not leave his village. Unlike his other fellow villagers that they leave their village because they wanted to work outside. They wanted to work outside their towns. And then he is a former bicycle repairer at Port Harcourt. And he gave up his free will to service people. So his priority is social service. And then next, Ruth served under Marcos Ibe. So Marcos Ibe is a candidate running under People's Alliance Party. So Marcos is the present chief, the honorable of the village of Umofia. And then Ruth is working under him. He tried to convince the people that Marcos is an asset for Umofia. So Marcos knows that Ruth is an effective campaign manager. Why? Because he had become expert in election campaigning, be it in all levels, like for example in village, in local and national elections. And he can also tell the mood of the people by just looking at them so that the candidate can express what he wants, that the people will not get offended. Because he can perceive the mood of the people or the electorate. Next, past experiences forbade the voters to be sympathetic to Marcos Ibe. So why? What is the background of Marcos Ibe? Marcos Ibe is a former educator, and there are some issues that he is involved in the female teachers, the pregnancy of a female teacher. So to escape that issue, he runs to the political, he chose to be candidate in politics. So he joined politics. And while he is in his possession, he had 2 long cars and a mansion, which he called Umofia Mansion in honor of their village. So he slaughtered 5 bulls and countless goats to entertain the people when it was opened by the Archbishop. So after the celebration, after the christening of his mansion, there were people discussing how they had given Marcos the power and what he had done after he received it. They also talk about his diligence and integrity in campaigning towards the people. So there is a debate going on Ezenwa's house, I think, that whether the people will vote for Marcos or not, the office will continue to support and fix their community. So next, it is revealed that Marcos is buying the votes of the people. However, some people believe that he doesn't need to buy votes from the people, because these people that believe that Marcos doesn't need to buy votes, they are the illiterate ones. They don't criticize the people that they are going to vote in the coming election. So they have a little knowledge about this person, and they just believe they are simple-hearted because they are illiterate. They cannot criticize or even think of a wider part that some candidates just uses their position to gain many money or anything else. Ruth distributed the shillings, but they were asking for more. So it is revealed here that Ruth is a man of Marcos. He distributed the shillings in front of them. So next, Ruth thought of how he had been taking bribes from Marcos recently. So meaning, as the story goes deep, Ruth is a buyer of Marcos's votes. Okay. Ruth thought of how he had been taking bribes. So what are the bribes that he had taken from Marcos? So he asked for a robe, a beard, and later a land case. So the people were asking for more. So they were not satisfied for just 2 or 1 shillings. So they want more because they said that it is too shameful for Marcos to give just 2 pieces of shillings because he is rich. Okay. So Ruth faked anger, telling the people that even though Marcos had bought their votes, they can still cast it to the other party. So after the few calming speeches from the elders, they picked up the shillings from the floor that Ruth had given. So Ruth gave more shillings because they wanted more. Okay. So the enemy that Ruth is talking about here is Maduka. So let us go back that Maduka is a candidate, opposition candidate, running under Progressive Organization Party. So it was clear that the party will not win. But what they did was they provided cars and loudspeakers. Their local campaigners would end up very rich because of the money that they were ready to give to their local campaigners. And then everything was according to Ruth's plan until the leader of POP campaign team approached Ruth asking him to vote for Maduka. He would get £5 in return. So here, Ruth experienced a very mental conflict of what he would do. £5 is very big, and he imagined himself that he has already a farm and he has farmers to harvest the cocoa like that. So he imagined that his life would be better if he will vote for Maduka because in return he will get £5. So after this, he explained first to the leader of the campaign team that he is working for Marcos. The leader said that yes, we know that you are working for Marcos, but all are we asking is your vote. Marcos won't be around in the booth, so it will be a secret for us. And then Ruth was persuaded, and he sold his vote for Maduka. He forced himself that Marcos will definitely win by majority. So the leader said to Ruth that the leader of the campaign of POP said to Ruth that an Iyi will guard him. So what is an Iyi? Iyi is a spirit of dead child. So that is more on the tradition of the Africans that an Iyi is their like guardian, and he will be sorry if he promised to an Iyi and then he will not give his word anymore. So Ruth gave in. So Ruth sold his vote for Maduka. He forced himself that Marcos will definitely win by majority. So he said to himself that I know that Marcos will definitely win. I know that it will be a landslide victory for him. But I'm one of his men. So I am having a little conflict on what will I do. £5 is very big for me. That I can have a land of my own. I can have people of my own. So election day came. Ibe, as usual, is very grand in style. He hired a band while the voters were proceeding to the polls. Now, this is the time when Ruth is giving the last-minute advice to the voters together with the other organizers. So they were saying to the illiterate voters that, do not forget to vote for Marcos. He is expecting your votes, like that. And then the illiterate ones will believe, okay, I know that he will give what we want for the betterment of our village. And then, Marcos is expecting that he will be the headline of tomorrow's newspaper, announcing that he won by a landslide victory. He wants every single vote for him. So Marcos is definitely he is very confident that he will win. And then, before casting his vote, before casting his vote, he tore the ballot paper and put one half in each box. So there is the booth, and then there are two ballot boxes, one for Maduka and one for Marcos. He tore the paper and put one half of each paper in each box. And then he confirmed his action verbally by saying that he voted for Maduka. Okay. So for me, it's like he is trying to say to himself that I voted for Maduka. It's like proclaiming that. They marked his thumb with indelible ink, and he went out as jauntily as he came into the booth. So that is the story of the voter. So he had a great mental conflict on what he would do upon his loyalty about Marcos and the £5 that the opposition party is offering. So let's go to the symbolism of the story. So the symbolism here is Marcos and Maduka themselves. So they stand for all candidates who are well-versed in rules of game. So Marcos and Maduka, they are really fond on promising that they will make the economy of the village very good. They will make their very best to support or to grow what they have in the town. And then Ruth represents human weakness for money and power. So let us face the truth and let us face the fact that there are a lot like Ruth in our country that they wanted to sell their goods in return for money. So here he represents human weakness for money and the power, like for Marcos and Maduka, their weakness for power. They are very willing to give. Everything. In the story, they give money in return for their vote, just to get the power or the position that they want. And then in the whole story, Chinua Achebe portrays both the voter and the candidates. So what I've said, the candidates, they represent, Marcos and Maduka represent the candidates, and the voter also benefits from them by sucking what they have. Like here in the story, they ask for more shillings. So shillings is the money of Uganda. And then the theme for the voter is where greed is, evil will surely follow. And we have seen this in the story. And we can see this also in real. So that is the end of